neighbors, shook hands with folks that have driven down here from New York, from West Virginia, from all across Tennessee. A tremendous outpouring of love and support and real supplies that Tennesseans are needing. You can see it happening behind us. So there's a lot of work to be done officially as well. TEMA, Department of Transportation, Department of Education, all of those teams are working on the ground. But what we're seeing here is the part where government isn't the entire answer. The people are the answer, and they are answering the call, and it's evident here. So glad y'all came out to see it with us as well. Happy to take your questions.
Go ahead. You go first. So what are your thoughts on the outpouring of generosity that you've seen from people in Tennessee volunteering and dropping off supplies?
Yeah, well, we are the volunteers here in this state, and the volunteer spirit is alive and well, and you can see it here. But as I said, there's an American spirit here when we have people from multiple states. Just in the few minutes that I walked through the line of cars and vehicles that are delivering supplies, I talked to folks from 3-4 different states. So it's inspiring. Last week I walked through neighborhoods that are decimated and citizens that are searching for loved ones, and the tears of those who have lost everything, that still is continuing on today. But that juxtaposition with the hope and the volunteerism and the spirit of generosity that you see here, it's part of how we will rebuild. We're in the middle of both of that right now, but this is a really important part of it.
So we know that you've been making multiple trips across the region. What makes you keep wanting to come back?
Oh, these are Tennesseans, and they're hurting. And not only are they hurting, but they're helping. And we have a responsibility at state government to respond. That's what TEMA, our emergency management agency, has orchestrated and coordinated is a response, and what we call a survivor-centric response. And there are a lot of survivors, and we are survivors, and East Tennesseans are survivors. There are a lot of survivors in this region. Our responsibility is to respond. There are still places that don't have water. There's still places that don't have power. There are still needs out there, that communities that are cut off. There are roads that are not fixed. We're a week into this, and there's much to be done. So I'm here to witness what the response should be from the agencies, the government, to coordinate with Senator Blackburn, Congressman Harshbarger, to coordinate with the federal funding and the federal programming, and make sure these folks represent us to D.C., which is a very important part of this process. That's why we're here, to see it all come together.
What are some of those things that you saw walking through? Can you tell us and describe some of the things that you guys saw?
You mean in the days after? Not today, on the site.
Yeah, today.
Today, what you see is, boxes and boxes and pallets and truckloads of personal supplies and water and food and medical supplies, everything that folks out there are going to need to survive the period of time that is really that initial rebuilding period. And there are great needs out there, great need for that to be well coordinated, to make sure that everything that's donated actually finds its way to someone who needs it. That's what's happening here.
And what is something that you'd like to tell people, that families who lost a lot, what's something that you want to get out there?
Yeah, I mean, nothing can ever replace the heartache, or can equate to the heartache that people have faced and seen. And I mean, we have folks that have lost loved ones. There's no amount of making up for that, but there is a great desire to do all that we can to respond in a way that provides support for people that are going through some of the hardest days of their lives. Are there others with questions?
If I can add to that. One of the things we're doing at the federal level, our website, our web page that is dedicated to this, blackburn.senate.gov/Helene. That has been translated into Spanish, and that should be helpful. Also, we are doing pop-up office hours in every one of the counties so that people can apply to get those Social Security cards, SNAP benefits, IRS documents, SBA documents, those things that have that federal nexus. So Michael Hensley out of our Tri-Cities office is who is coordinating that.
Is there going to be an emergency session of the General Assembly?
You know, the General Assembly is, and our office have been in continuous communication about how best to respond, and there's a lot of work being done right now. It's not necessary to officially come in with a session to coordinate efforts, and obviously I've been talking to, and our offices are communicating with leaders' offices, speakers' offices, with the leaders and speakers themselves. All departments of department leaders in the cabinet of all departments of state have had regular ongoing meetings. I have attended cabinet meetings in order to have every department, and Senator Blackburn talked about pop-up offices for federal services. We're doing the same thing on the state level. So people who need a driver's license, who need their TANF dollars, who need any supplies, any relief, any services that they would be getting from the state, that they can walk into these temporary offices that are established in the areas, and you can reach out to TEMA to find out where those are and get the services they need. Yes.
Governor, it's going to be a long process, cleanup, rebuild. Obviously, frustration is going to set in. It's probably setting in for some people now. What do you tell those people?
You know, we understand. It's a heartbreaking and frustrating process to not have water, to not have power. Now, I will say that I'm very encouraged with the speed with which response has happened as it relates to water, for example. There are plenty of folks that are still on a boil requirement, but the water is beginning to flow into all parts of all the counties affected. So we have a long way to go. I hesitate to tell people to be patient because they got enough to deal with to have to worry about being patient. What I would just say is we see you, we hear you, we know about the folks in our state that have been negatively affected, and there are a lot of folks out there from the state level, from the federal level. There are our congressmen, our senators, our state lawmakers. Trust me, there is a strong effort among all of them and the local officials who do more than anybody, the local sheriffs, the local law enforcement, the state guard, as you can see, the National Guard. We see them, and we're working to make sure we get that help to them. Go ahead.
I know there's been a fair bit of misinformation out there. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, I think that we try to push back on misinformation all we can. There's you can't stop misinformation. People can say whatever they want to say, but what I'll say is, look with your own eyes what's happening here. And this work and this effort and the coordinated effort between the local EMAs, TEMA, the coordinated effort has been powerful and responsive. And it's one of the reasons that we have very few people without power, very few people that don't have the certainty that water's coming soon, very few people who don't have the drinking water or the food supplies or the personal supplies that they actually need. It's not what they had. It's not all corrected. It's not all built back. It's not all fixed. But we're a week into this, and I'm very proud of the coordinated effort. So misinformation, you can disregard most misinformation if you're focused on serving the people that need to be served.
If I can add to that before we end, one way to dispel a lot of the misinformation is by our being out here. This is the governor's third time to come up, and we've been able now 3 times to walk through, make assessments, talk to elected officials. On Friday, FEMA did a conference call with all 7 of our county mayors to say, this is what we're going to do, this is what you can expect. So having that kind of orderly process really helps to dispel that, and having you all show up and get the message out also goes a long way to help dispel that. People in your communities know they can trust you, and we appreciate that you're here to help get the right message out and to show that the governor, Tima, that we're all still here. Diana and I, we're here and we're making these assessments.
I think that's a really good point I want to make is comments about misinformation. Accurate information overrides misinformation. You all are the distributors of accurate information, so we appreciate your interaction with us today, actually meeting with federal highway officials. There's a lot of highway work that needs to be done, have worked and coordinated with federal FEMA, with federal transportation departments, so there is work being done, and to the degree that information gets out to the people, it's helpful.
Can I add one other thing? You know, I'm talking to some of the mayors when we went through the distribution center, and there's a lot of mistrust by some of the people that live here in East Tennessee. And my message to these people are, look, you trust me, you trust Marcia, you trust the governor. Listen, let these people come in, let them help you, because we wouldn't steer you in the wrong way. And if you do mistrust them, you call my office, and I'll be happy to help coordinate that, because I know how they feel. They don't trust anybody that says, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help. So, but we are truly here to help. So please contact us, harshbarger.house.gov. You just give us a call. We'll make sure that you get the proper information, and we're here to help you for real. We're here to help you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you guys so much.